So I've been living in my Ford Transit Connect for about 2 months now, and my goal is to just travel around while also working on my business. I silversmith rings and sell at pop-ups and online. The last couple of weeks have been pretty eventful, but I have been struggling with meeting people and making friends. But recently that all kind of changed, and I'm excited to show you how. Before I moved into my van, I didn't really think about how important community is. And yeah, 2 months in, I was struggling. I was like, I need friends. But it's hard to have friends when you're traveling place to place every other week. But then honestly, like everything changed for me within a matter of one day. I had been scrolling on TikTok and I saw a girl living in her van near where I was staying. So I followed her and she ended up DMing me asking if I wanted to go to the farmer's market. Of course, I said yes. I was so giddy when I saw that she asked. And that day we met up at the farmer's market. Shout out to Abby. And from there, she just ended up introducing me to a whole bunch of other people living in their vans. The van, ambulance, truck, car community is so welcoming, and everyone has a really interesting story.
How much did you pay for the ambulance?
I paid $5,300 for
Okay.
it. And yeah, it has a really great engine. It's a 7.3 liter diesel engine. It's a 1997. I would 100% recommend an ambulance because they're very spacious. They're also squared, so if you choose to pull it out and build it out yourself, it's a lot easier than a bus because you don't have that whole rounded, you don't have to round everything. I've replaced the flooring twice. Yeah, both of these are from Colorado. I saw them,
Shortly after I went to the farmer's market, I also got invited to a bonfire and my first van life event. Essentially, it was just anyone in the area who lived in a vehicle could come to this specific spot, and people had their vehicles open. You could walk through and get like a tour. The person who hosted the event brought food, and there was also a band that performed called Soul Dive, and I got the chance to talk to some of the performers later in the evening.
I am not even in my own van. I'm in Kevin's van,
Oh, nice.
but I've been doing van life for a year and a half now, on and off. So I think if I were to do anything again, I would go for more of this kind of van. But the camper was really cool. It was a good first start to ease into it. Like we had a bathroom, a full kitchen, an oven.
What's the coolest place you feel like you've been in, like the vehicles?
In the van? I'd say Ocean Beach, just like San Diego in general. Joshua Tree or Arizona, where Van Life Pride is held every year.
Yeah.
Great job up there.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. What's your name?
I'm Dilla.
Dilla? I'm Grace. So nice to meet you. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm just gonna get a soft top.
This is a fucking
You gotta get a license.
He's on a
Originally New York, but
Okay, cool.
if you just lift a little bit.
Yes. I am, yeah. I'm in a 144.
After meeting people, I finally started to get a better understanding of what there was to do around the area that I was staying. And I also had some opportunities to do some pop-ups, which I was having a hard time finding on my own. I love doing pop-ups because it's such a good setting to meet local people. This specific market is called the Low Tide Market, located in San Diego. One of my friends started it, and it happens every month. I'll tag it below because if you're in the area, you should definitely check it out.
I need a bigger bowl. No? Air bubbles? Should we do it again, or I think that's good? Maybe we should do it again.
This was the first day of learning how to make grills. My sister came to visit, so I was just practicing impressions on her. I've been trying to think of different ways to expand my business, and I thought this would just be something that would be fun, and also I've had a lot of requests for them, so that's why I decided to add them to my shop.
Don't beat yourself up, literally. First run, second run is gonna be perfect. Type stuff, like You had to make it look hard, you know.
Yeah, so basically this was my homeless era. My van broke down on the highway, the brake lines went out, and I ended up getting it to a shop, but from there I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So I called one of my friends that I had made a few days prior named Keon, and I don't know if he was an angel sent from heaven, but he helped me in every way possible. He found me a good shop to get my van to, he found a place for me to stay, he drove me around. It was so helpful. And then after a couple days, my mom ended up coming down. She got us an Airbnb and we ended up having like a little vacation. It was really fun having my mom and my sister there because I got to show them places I was sleeping and we went to restaurants, we went swimming. But the one thing about having your family come to visit is when they leave, it is so much worse. Like I definitely struggled with being lonely after my family came and then left. The whole breakdown experience was definitely just a good reminder of how blessed I am. Keon was so helpful. My mother coming to save us was also just such a relief. And it just made me more aware of the fact that people like aren't just out to get you, they will help you. And there are a lot of good people out there, even if you don't have family, that will help you if you need it. This was a really cool pop-up that I did, also located in San Diego. It was called One Fine Day, and it was like in a hotel. You paid $5 to get in. Everyone got free drinks, and the vibes were just good. But this was my grinding season because since my family had just left, I was planning a road trip up the coast, and I wanted to sell as many rings as I could to save up for gas and food. The last few weeks of my time in San Diego consisted of a lot of ring making. I was going to the gym pretty consistently, and I was also spending a lot of time in Keon's shop working on wax rings, working on my grills. I was also spending a lot of time with my new van friends, Tammy, Kirby, Keon, Isabel. During the day we would work, but in the evenings we would either get food or one night we went to a flower field. I stayed in the same area with my friends for about a month, which even though I wasn't traveling, it was really fun because I kind of got to reset my schedule. I started going to the gym every day. I was working on my business, and it was nice to kind of just get back on track. Making rings while traveling is a lot more difficult than I anticipated for a few reasons. One, taking all my tools out kind of takes forever. And then two, one thing that I didn't think about was the wind obstructing my flame. Anytime I try soldering outside, I have such a hard time heating up the metal because the wind is constantly blowing my flame. So having a space to work on rings indoors was so helpful for me. People always ask me how I learned how to make rings, and I learned off of YouTube. Everything that I know is either from YouTube, TikTok, or just asking other jewelers questions. There are so many different methods to ring making. What I'm doing right now is called sand casting. Ideally, I do want to do some sort of schooling to get a better understanding of different methods. I feel like when you teach yourself, there are just always gaps in what you learn. As I continue to practice, I'm constantly learning new methods, and it's just a process. I do want to take some computer designing classes in the future, so that's the plan right now.
Just like all the animals. Hello.
So this was a really random trip. My friends asked if I wanted to road trip to Texas to see the solar eclipse, which was an 18-hour drive from where we were. But of course I said yes because I wanted to see the solar eclipse. We took my friend Kirby's van, which is actually one of the coolest vans I've ever seen. And we just slept in the van. We got to Texas on time. We saw the eclipse. On the way home, we got to stop in New Mexico and we went to the White Sands National Park, which was so cool because I had been wanting to go here, but it wasn't in my route. So it was really fun to go with my friends. This park was a 10 out of 10. I recommend it. The colors were just like so pastel and vibrant. I don't really know how else to explain it. It was really peaceful and I felt like I could just spend the whole day there. I think the only way this park wouldn't have been enjoyable is if it was windy. We went on a really calm day, so it was really fun. Once I got back from the road trip, my time in San Diego was coming to an end, which is actually crazy because it genuinely feels like another home to me at this point. I spent about 2.5 months there and I had so many experiences. The rainstorm, my van breaking down, being super lonely, making a ton of friends. Looking back on it, it kind of feels like a fever dream. But as a whole, I'm so thankful that I decided to come to San Diego. This kind of felt like the big shift in my travel plans because I did meet so many cool people. And I will forever be grateful for my experience in San Diego. And to everyone that I met there, I miss you guys so much. I can't wait to see you again. And thank you for the unforgettable memories. Before I end today's video, I want to give a quick review of the program Dehancer. I've been able to use this for the past 2 months, and basically it's a film emulation program where you can take your normal footage and make it look like it was shot on film. I've been wanting to try something like this for a while, but I've hesitated because I'm not super familiar with color grading. The extent of my knowledge is about 2 or 3 YouTube videos. So to try a program like this was intimidating because I didn't know if I would be able to use it or understand it. But I will say this was a very simple program, yet still had an immense amount of different tools and options. I pretty much picked it up within the first 30 minutes. I watched a tutorial and felt like I already had the hang of it. There's tons of different filters to use. There's a whole bunch of tools. The 2 tools I was most excited about was halation and bloom. I feel like those really emulate what film looks like to me and also gives like a really mystical, magical look to your footage. I'm typically not one to purchase a plugin or a program. They have a couple different options when it comes to purchasing. You can buy the lifetime for I believe $450, or you can get it monthly or yearly. I definitely think it's worth it. You get so many different add-ons and I feel like I can finally create the footage that I've been envisioning for so long with this program. The one complaint that I had about it was I did have some lag on my playback when I was editing. I asked my friend who also has Final Cut Pro and she said she was experiencing the same issue. Anytime I had the adjustment layer with Dehancer over top my footage and I played it back, there was like a little bit of hesitation. So I don't know if that can be fixed with an update or not, but that was my one complaint. Dehancer also just recently released an app, which is really helpful if you're trying to get a film look on your photos using your phone. I've downloaded so many film apps in my day, and this one is by far the best. My main issue with a lot of the film apps that I've used in the past is that they have really dramatic filters, or you don't have full autonomy over what you're choosing when it comes to grain or different tools. But what I like about the Dehancer app is they have so many different tools you can use, including halation and bloom. And then they also have tons of different filters, but you have so much control over the intensity. You can make your photos look really intense, or it can have a more mild look, which I really like and appreciate about the app. If you're interested in trying out the app or the program, I do have a discount code. It's 10% off and I'll put it in my description. But yeah, that's my honest review on the program Dehancer. I personally recommend it. I think it's worth trying out. Thanks for watching my vlog today. I hope my review was helpful and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.